to show you an attractive town in northern New Jersey that has lakes and beautiful homes and rolling hills and good schools and everything. It has everything you'd want in a town or a suburb. The only thing it doesn't have is a downtown. So if there's any people that could build such a downtown, this is one town that could use one. And I'll show you what is here now, and you'll definitely see areas for improvement. I'm talking about Wayne, New Jersey. So let's take a look at some of the vacant stores and other retail establishments that are around the town, and look at some of the shopping centers that have a lot of vacancies. And let me know if you have any ideas what could be done to make this town whole and have a real downtown, a real central gathering place, because right now there is none. It's very spread out. It covers a huge land area, population of about 50,000 or more, next to some other very affluent suburbs. And Wayne is not doing too shabbily itself. This right here used to be the headquarters of Toys R Us, and now they're trying to redevelop that into mixed use or multi-tenant usage, but that goes for a lot of places that had big corporate headquarters at one time, and the buildings are still there, and it's a question of what do you do with them. So let's take a look at some of the retail deterioration or lack of life in Wayne, New Jersey. Was the fact that there's no downtown due to the fact that it was all farms here? And this is the last one left in Wayne? Don't know. I mean, Mountain View Boulevard is sort of the old downtown of Wayne. But how many downtowns do you know where they built a highway right through the downtown? Here's the former Corrado supermarket and adjoining shopping center. And here's a vacant Macy's store. There's still another Macy's at a mall on the other end of town, but no more Macy's. I know most of you can guess what this used to be, but if you're not from the United States, it's an International House of Pancakes. Been closed for more than a decade. Now, movie theaters have gone out of business all over the place, but this is the movie theater in Wayne that's no longer open. And a lot of empty stores here. Don't know what the plans are. They've been going out of business one by one. There's still a couple of restaurants. Across the way, that used to be a Charlie Brown's restaurant. It's now vacant. There's a couple of examples of adaptive reuse. This used to be a Trader Joe's store, and now it's a urgent care. And across the way, this used to be some sort of discount store, and now it's a senior citizen assisted living. This used to be the Toys R Us store in town where the headquarters was located, but this was hardly ever the flagship store of Toys R Us. They keep the lights on at Toys R Us, but it's been closed for years. Here's a big Kmart store that's now vacant, been vacant for a couple of years. One of the last ones, I think, that was still open. This shopping center was a little down on its heels for a while, but it's come back. That Planet Fitness used to be an Office Max. So here's a shopping center that lost its biggest tenant, a ShopRite grocery store, which looks like it's being taken apart, and I don't know what they're going to put it back together as. Here's a major grocery store building deconstructed. Wayne had a Harmon's discount cosmetic store and general drugstore, went out of business, but the whole chain went out of business. One of the bright spots of Wayne is that this used to be a long vacant A&P store, but now it's a Whole Foods. Here's another big old store. I forget what this used to be. It looks like maybe it used to be a Old Navy. And it's right next to this, which I think used to be like Bed Bath & Beyond. One of those kind of stores. Anyway, it's all vacant now. I don't even know what these stores used to be. A David's Bridal, maybe? A Sports Authority? It's been so long, I don't know what they were. Now, Wayne does have good mass transit despite being a auto-dominated place, bus and trains. And this is the other train station in Wayne, Mountain View, where there are no mountains within view. Wayne does have a couple of lakes, with this restaurant on along one of them, Packanack Lake, and houses that look out over the water. And this is Pines Lake, where you go over a one-lane bridge over a dam. Another beautiful residential area along Pines Lake, where people pay a lot of property taxes, but they have no downtown to show for it. There's even a Frank Lloyd Wright-esque house. Wayne is a suburb of New York City, west and north of Manhattan. It's about as far away from Midtown Manhattan as White Plains and Westchester County, which I'll talk about in a minute. And it has a large land area, and it's bordered by 11 different other municipalities. So in this map, Wayne is shown way down and towards the southern end of town, but really the center of town would be more where this is shown. So it's a large area, and as I mentioned at the start of the video, without a downtown. So as a result, people tend to go to other surrounding towns for nightlife, restaurants, or a downtown scene, such as Montclair and Morristown to the south. But people are willing to go all over from Wayne. And I mentioned White Plains before. It is a similar setup. It is a downtown, but one that people aren't terrifically fond of. So a lot of people tend to go to the other surrounding towns in Westchester County. Wayne is the home of William Patterson University, which is a state school known for its teaching program. And some sort of famous people that are from Wayne. One is Greg Olson, who is now a commentator for football, and he went to high school, played under his dad, who was the coach of one of the two high schools in Wayne, and then he went on to play mostly for Carolina. And then some other people of note, Danielle Staub, who was on The Real Housewives of New Jersey at the start, lived in Wayne. And then Cecil B. DeMille, famous director, producer, some say the founder of the American cinema, lived in Wayne. And Lisa Edelstein, who was an actress on the show House. She grew up in Wayne. But for a lot of people who don't know anything about Wayne, the one thing that they associate with Wayne is this video. Stacy's Mom by this band called the Fountains of Wayne. And they took their name from this place that was on one of the highways, Route 46, Fountains of Wayne. It lasted until 2009. It's no longer there. It sold a lot of outdoor ornaments that even attracted the likes of Tony Soprano in one episode. So this is where it was located, next to some other stores that are now vacant. Wayne also is one of the towns that has a former Washington headquarters, and this is the Day Mansion, which is a beautiful home, and it's surrounded by green areas, including a golf course, but was once part of the Day estate, the Day Mansion. And Alexander Hamilton also stayed in this house with General Washington. So finally, I'm just going to show an area of Wayne that's close to the Pompton River, which flows into the Passaic River, and there are various smaller tributaries that flow into the Pompton River, and it tends to flood, and there's been some recent flooding in this area. And there are homes that are located near the river where there's been a lot of flooding and people have been surrounded by water. So over time, some of the homes have been bought by the government. Others, people have just let their houses disintegrate into the natural environment. And other people have stuck it out and they don't want to move. They want to stay in this area for whatever reason. So as a result, they've had to do kind of an unusual thing. It's an unusual area to drive around, and I'll show some clips coming up. But the houses, they've built them up on high foundations. So here's some examples, and we'll drive by these houses. This is you would call this kind of house a raised ranch, but it's a super raised ranch. Just a regular, I forget what kind of house you call that, but built up. I just got to show some of these houses in this neighborhood near the Pompton River in Wayne, New Jersey. And the way they are built up on huge foundations or smaller foundations, it's really something. Let's see some more examples of extreme civil engineering and architecture. Now, this house is going to probably be the winner. Never seen a house built that high up off the ground. Really something. Built just a little bit higher than normal off the ground. It's an area prone to flooding. And so a lot of the houses have been bought out and people have moved, but others have stayed and built up. Really something. It's like living in the swamp. Only we're in the north. In New Jersey, we're not in Louisiana. But New Jersey is like one of the big flooding states. Always gets the news. Look at this house over here. I'm not going to go down because it's just a little dead end, but really something. There's some more houses that are built up. What a neighborhood, huh? You wonder whether a lot of these vacant parcels of land are where there used to be houses. Land for sale, huh? If you want to build up. This is at normal height, pretty much. A little high. That's a little high. I just wonder what you do with your cars. take them to high ground, and then you row back to your house. They're living here all by their lonesome. So yeah, a lot of the areas like this, and it floods. There's a lot of little creeks that flow into bigger creeks that flow into rivers. The mighty Pompton River is the cause of all this damage and weird house design.